What's up everybody, my name is Dwight and welcome back to GeForce Garage. Today we are going to be building a high-end gaming PC to test out NVIDIA Reflex, one of the many features on the latest monitors like this ROG Swift 360Hz display. When it comes to competitive gaming, you need every advantage you can get. Reducing system latency should lead to increased accuracy. That's where NVIDIA Reflex comes in. It's a tool that gives gamers an accurate measurement of their system's responsiveness. And thanks to the critical components needed for our setup provided by ASUS ROG, we will gain insight into the relationship between your mouse, PC, and display. This will show that having quality hardware at each of these points can make a huge difference. But first, we're going to need a rock-solid gaming PC. Powering this build is going to be the new ROG Strix LC GeForce RTX 3080 Ti. This graphics card has a built-in liquid cooler for ultra-quiet thermal performance. We're going to pair that with a Ryzen 7 5800X on an ROG X570E motherboard. Since the GPU already has an AIO, we're going to be switching it up when it comes to the CPU and go with an air cooler from Noctua, their NHD15. We're also putting in 16 GB of super fast Trident Z RGB RAM and a Gen 4 1TB M.2 from Corsair for storage. All of these high-performance components will be going into the new Odyssey X from Lian Li. This thing is crazy customizable with multiple internal and external configuration options. Lastly, we're going to fill it up with a bunch of these really nice QL120 fans, and everything is going to be powered by an ROG Strix G 850-watt power supply with a set of custom cables made by Mainframe Customs. So those are all the parts. Let's get to building. Okay, so it's all done and built. Working with this case was actually really nice with all of its different modular features. Like, I had a lot of fun playing around with the front panel and the different designs you can do, like putting a gap down the middle or moving the vents around to the outside. I did come across a couple of issues. The CPU cooler's second fan was actually a bit too big because it would hit the top of the RAM or the back of the I/O. So I replaced it with a 120mm fan, and I think it's going to work just fine. The other thing was the GPU tubes were a little too long, so I had to get creative with how I tucked them away. I needed to keep the radiator the highest point of the loop, that way there was no air trapped inside of the pump. Anyways, that's the build. Let's go see how well it performs.
Booting up Overwatch at 1080p, everything on Ultra, we see a pretty consistent frame rate in the 250 to 280 FPS range. And with Reflex on and boosted, we have an average system latency of around 12 milliseconds. Jumping over to Rainbow Six Siege, again at 1080p on Ultra Detail, we are seeing FPS around 280 to 330, and with Reflex on and boosted, we see an average system latency of 9.1 milliseconds, making this game feel incredibly snappy. Now that we've determined that this build is indeed a beast, let's see how using ASUS's latest peripherals will give you that competitive edge. So I'm going to be using ASUS's latest ROG Swift 360Hz PG259QNR monitor with NVIDIA G-Sync. The ultra-fast refresh rate ensures that the latest frames rendered by our system are on the screen. In addition, it also has the Reflex Latency Analyzer built into it to show us how quickly the display updates after our mouse clicks. Basically, it will detect the clicks coming from the mouse and then measure the time it takes for the resulting pixels to change on the screen. You'll see a little flashing white square on the left side of the screen to indicate that. First, we're going to use the tool with a basic optical mouse, and the result we get is around 16.9 milliseconds. Now we're going to try the ROG Chakram core, ASUS's 16000 DPI 1000Hz high-performance wired gaming mouse, and as you can see, our mouse latency has gone down to a sub 1 millisecond response time. That's the golden trifecta, a powerful graphics card for high frame rates, a fast monitor for smooth gameplay, and a quick mouse for high responsiveness.
So that's it. I actually would have liked more time to play around with this case, So maybe if you guys want to see us bring it back, we can do a full custom loop and get a little crazy with it. Thank you to ASUS for providing all of this amazing gear, and thanks to Lian Li for giving us a space gray Odyssey X. And thanks to all of you for watching. If you guys enjoyed this and want to see more, hit that subscribe button down below, and I'll see you for the next one.